Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Renton Reflects. It's interesting sometimes to look up the filmography of a famous filmmaker and discover more about a film project that is not usually talked about in social circles. Case in point, Robert Zemeckis and this film. It stars Kurt Russell as a used car salesman named Rudy Russo, who has ambitions of becoming the next state senator. To get there, though, he must raise enough money for his campaign. He works for the owner of the lot named Luke Fuchs. Luke has a brother named Roy who is also a used car salesman and has a much fancier car lot right across the street. So they're in direct competition with each other. On a side note, both of the brothers are played by the same actor, Jack Warden. Now, Rudy and Roy try to outdo each other in terms of their own marketing ploys, and it's a race to see which one of them would truly succeed in the end. Initially, I didn't exactly know how to approach this movie. I mean, I half expected it to be somewhat standard comedy film that's nothing too special. Little did I know that it turned out to be much more than that. In fact, it really took me by surprise. Without giving too much away, let's just say that it has the ambitious drive of possessing the kind of manic energy as seen in other outlandish comedy films like National Lampoon's Animal House, Caddyshack, and Airplane, but not to the point that some of the jokes turn out to be too cartoony. It's got nudity, it's got strippers, it's got explosions, it even has a sequence involving a massive amount of used cars being driven all at one time. It's the kind of humor I would never have expected Robert Zemeckis to direct, let alone help co-write the screenplay. But at least it shows he was capable of writing and directing comedy just fine. Even though this movie may not be up to par like the other comedy films I had mentioned, part of what makes it work is the timing in the jokes. For example, there are a couple of times when Rudy tries to interrupt a television broadcast with a live commercial of his own. Realistically speaking, it's hard to say if such a stunt could effectively be pulled off in real life, particularly when it comes to knowing precisely when to start the interruption and when to end it with a perfectly smooth transition. But as far as selling the humor goes, it got me to laugh. Much like a used car in real life, it may have some faults in terms of structure, but it's still able to run smoothly enough to make it a very decent joyride. And for my money, it was well worth that joyride. If I were to give this film a rating on a scale between 1 and 10, I personally would give it a 6.5. And that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes my review. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.